Welcome everyone. Thank you for being here. My name is Antonio Alves, the president of Angolan community. And today we have a special lecture in reflection of Angolan 11, 11 year of Independence Day. And no, 11 years of Peace and Reconciliation Day. And today we have Sebastian Singe, our lecturer, in company with Papa Nzenguele. Our presence, we have our ambassador, Excellence Agostinho Tavares da Silva. We have the president of Casa de Angola in Hamilton, and we have our special guests over here. And and for our lecture, we have the moderator of the debate, Valentin João, the secretary of Angolan Community of Ontario. Anyone who wants to speak, please give your name to Valentin, and Valentin will follow up with the lecture. And right now, I want to introduce Sebastian Singe, our lecturer. Welcome, and it's your time.
Thank you very much, sir. I'm going to use this microphone here.
Oh, yes.
Muito obrigado. Muito obrigado. Eu gostaria primeiro de agradecer essa oportunidade. Primeiro, eu queria agradecer o nosso Deus, que nos dá força de vida, saúde, para podermos estar aqui e convivermos entre nós angolanos. E ter também essa oportunidade de agradecer algumas pessoas aqui, começando com o nosso representante oficial, que é na pessoa do nosso embaixador, que está aqui conosco, representante da República de Angola, sou Agostinho Tavares, que eu tive a honra e o prazer de conhecer a Angola. Fui o primeiro angolano canadiano que ele encontrou em Angola antes dele tomar posse aqui, não é verdade? E sentamos no restaurante, falamos como Deus é bom. Ele vinha para o Canadá quase um mês depois e, tanto, é uma pessoa conhecida, é nosso embaixador. Yes. I'd like also to thank the president of the Angolan community of Ontario. I was impressed to know that there is such a young leader who is running the organization, but more so I was more impressed by the fact that he thought of us to come and address you, our Angolan citizen brothers and sisters, to explain where we came from and where we were going. In other words, how this organization was created. And it's been a long time. So for somebody to have taken the opportunity, the time to say who are the founders of this organization, I felt very privileged. Why don't we give him a round of applause with him and his I want to also take the opportunity to thank o meu irmão Miguel Nzenguele, dos membros fundadores também, primeiro conselheiro estratega da nossa comunidade, é uma pessoa que eu respeito muito, porque já vão mais de 25 anos que nos conhecemos. Hoje somos casados e pais e daqui a pouco vai ser avô, não sei quando. But to say the least, he also kept the relationship with the Angolan community here in Toronto, and he's trained in international relations. I will also give him an opportunity to say a few words because he's one of the surviving founding members of the Angolan community. So thank you for being here, and especially for keeping in touch and encouraging me to come back in Toronto. In our midst, of course, we have the treasurer of the Embassy of Angola as well. We have a few other people that I don't remember. I know that some members of the ACO, the office, are here, which I will meet after this lecture. But I will also make mention of two of my friends who are here. They are business partners. They came just to be here and get to know Angolans. They know Angola a little bit, but they also wanted to get the opportunity to talk to the ambassador and talk to the diplomatic corps because they are Canadian. They have an interest in helping developing projects, business undertaking, serious business undertaking in Angola. That is my friend John and Pierre. That's them. And yes. John actually has been in Angola, and he knows Angola very well. So he has a particular interest in bringing project to Angola, and of course meeting the ambassador and getting to know you. Last but not least is my beloved wife. Where you stand up, beautiful wife, that I brought with me, and she's my supporter. Yes, that's my wife. Yes, that's my wife, and we met here in Toronto. We live in Ottawa. We have 4 children. She's been with me for the last 20 years. Thank God for her. Without her, I would be a careca. Because this organization started back in 1988. And I was very young when I was told that there would be many Angolans coming to Ottawa, to Toronto, sorry. And there was no idea of forming an Angolan community for any reason. There was no concept. But I think what happened is that just talking to you casually, we had one of our match values here. We call him Maiva Souza. He was driving a taxi, and he went to the airport, and he picked up a lady, and the lady had a child. Lady tried to speak to him in English, and he realized that this lady speaks Portuguese. So he asked her, "Where are you from?" In English, of course. The lady said, "I'm from Angola." And then they start talking in Portuguese. He dropped the lady to a community organization that was not Angolan, which was a Ghanaian community organization somewhere, I don't know, Dundas. Then the next week, he came and told me about this story. So what can we do if we get more people like this coming to Canada? I said to him, we need to create a community organization that will receive people, just like the Ghanaians are doing, the Filipinos are doing, many other people are doing. We need to. But how can we do something like this in 1988, 1989, when our country is divided, when the people are at a war? Is it possible? I said, well, we'll try. Let's see if it's going to work. And so I drafted the first bylaws, o primeiro estatutos e regulamentos, a explicar, to explain that we want to make sure that we create an organization that will bring together all the Angolans in a non-political partisanship. We want the Angolans to come together, forget about where you're coming from, who you're supporting, MPLA, UNITA, FNLA at that time, but just come as an Angolan. The other idea at the time, as you can imagine, it was a risk. You're taking a risk. Who are you? What do you pretend to do? Are you fooling us? But it was genuine. The idea was genuine because we really wanted to have a community organization that will help. And to make a long story short, along those lines, we had a first meeting at the Glendon College, okay? That is what, Bayview and Lawrence. That's where I was staying. And a small group of people, of course, my brother Nzenguele was there, Maiva Souza. There was another, Maiva Bastos. I haven't seen him in a long time. He's probably here. And there were a few other people. I'm not going to mention their names. And when they came, our idea was, okay, we're going to have this community organization. How is it going to run? Some people are very militant about their position in terms of political party and what they want to do. And so we decided, no, we're going to try our best to have it done in a way that it's going to accommodate everyone. And we had a first election at the first Portuguese center, all right? College, right? On college. And it was a larger group than this. A lot of Portuguese interested in knowing Angolans trying to do something. O que é que vocês estão a fazer? Nós estamos a formar uma organização. Oh, uma nação dos angolanos? Sim, senhor. Como é que isso vai ser? E o que há hoje? Oh, uma eleição. Eleição do primeiro elenco, do primeiro ACO. Ah, é, sim. Os portugueses vieram para ver. They came to see what we are doing. They gave us the space. It was something like this, but a little bit much bigger. And we held the first election. And of course, I was a candidate for presidency, and I was elected. And it was a sensational idea, an idea that we thought was almost impossible, but it became a reality. So we had ACO, and I was the president. Majvel Bastos was the vice president. Marcos Facão, who is now in Alberta, was the secretary general. We had Philo Malonda, who was comunicação. Antônio dos Ferros, tesoureiro. We had Borges, Dala Borges, comunicação. Aston Villa Bertolé, era o quê?
The second one?
Second one. E Major Souza, conselheiro. E Nzenguele Miguel, conselheiro principal. E foi assim o primeiro elenco da ACO foi criado. E não tínhamos gabinete, we didn't have an office, we didn't have where to meet, but we would go from place to place. But we are motivated. Of course, people ask us many questions. Are you a political party? What are you trying to do? It's impossible for Angolans to be together. But we told them that we made a commitment that we will be together as a community, despite, regardless our differences, our political affiliation. And we did. So, make a long story short, along those lines, we managed to develop partnership with other group and then other community here, the French community of Ontario. We managed to get an office, 20 Lower Spadina, right? That is the Centre Francophone. They looked at our enthusiasm, they gave us an office, and we managed to start there. From there, we did a lot of things. I am very proud of the people that I worked with in those days. We were receiving requests from people to come and speak to us because Angola was at war. And what do? Do we say no? They shouldn't come and speak to us? Or should we allow them to come? If we allow one, are we going to allow everybody? Right? So, portanto, esse era nosso dilema. O nosso dilema era então, mas thank you. Se as pessoas querem falar conosco, deixa que eles venham falar conosco, não é? Palestras, essas coisas todas. Seja de um partido político angolano ou de um outro grupo, vai lá. E foi uma grande abertura quando chegamos a essa época, quando começamos mesmo a dar oportunidade às pessoas a começar a falar conosco. E tivemos participação, se calhar não é preciso mencionar nomes, mas vou dizer alguns elementos da UNIT, alguns elementos do MPLA, até eu tive a oportunidade de encontrar o Cavaco Silva, que foi convidado pela comunidade portuguesa aqui em Toronto. E fui lá como representante da ACO. Portanto, essa ideia tornou-se a ser uma realidade. Embora que, ao sair das nossas reuniões, cada um tinha o seu partido político, não é verdade? You leave the meeting, you have your own opinion, but we were able to maintain a unity and coesão, não é? Dentro da ACO. Foi uma coisa maravilhosa. E one thing that kept us really to do what we had to do was we had made a commitment towards our statutes and bylaws, os nossos estatutos e regulamentos, que nos dava a oportunidade, que nos obrigava que nos obrigava a respeitar o ponto de vista político do vizinho, do angolano ao lado. Respeitar a pessoa conforme estava. E outra coisa, we were able to help a lot in immigration. A lot of young people came and joined us. We had a lot of challenges with immigration. Some of our young people were being deported, and we personally will go there and intervene. In fact, Nzenguele still does it today, while I do it in my profession. But it was back then, it was just trial and error. You go there, you present documents, you explain Angola is a difficult place, don't send them back, that kind of thing. So we did all these things, and I think it gave us credibility. Now, the other thing is the Portuguese helped us, the first Portuguese. Some of them, they even gave us a radio station at the time. We had a radio station where we were participating a few minutes to do our presentation. And it was that kind of thing that motivated us. And the second thing I want to say is that I was re-elected for second mandate. The same group came back, more or less. We were the same people. But in that time, 1992, thereabout, it was the change in Angola occurred. That is the change in terms of, globally, the Union, URSS, the communism crumbled. There were change everywhere. In Angola, there was election in 1992. They invited me and, of course, many other leaders in the community to go to Angola. And then I was invited by the Angolan parliament to tell the Parliament of Angola about the Angola community, and we brought a document that explained what the Angolan community was. At the time was João Bernardo Miranda. He was the Vice Governor of Foreign Affairs, and we worked with him. He welcomed us. We were about 36. Some people came from Europe. Each one of them was a delegate. Primeira reunião das comunidades angolanas do exterior. Isso foi em 1992. Então, foi assim, foi naquela altura quando a ACO foi apresentado em Angola formalmente. A Angola community of origin, it was just an idea. Today, it is a reality. Back then, Angolans were divided by war. Today, we are talking about peace and reconciliation. Back then, we are only helping recém-chegados, the newcomers. Today, most of you are Canadians carrying Angolan passports. Back then, we were very young. I believe I was 28 or something like that. But today, we are, mature. I mean, of course, some members are very young here. Back then, of course, I said there was a war. Today, we have peace. We have election in Angola. And back then, we only used fax machine. Today, we're using internet, Facebook, you name it, all the social means of communication. Back then, we were more concerned about immigration, okay? Today, it's more, people are established, they are settled, and I don't know if we still have issue of communication. Back then, there was no business opportunities. Today, there are plenty of business opportunities. Last but not least, back then, there was no embassy, there was no ambassador. Today, we have an embassy and an ambassador. I would like to say this.
Thank you very much, my brother. Muito obrigado, meu irmão. Tudo já está dito, mas não posso ter a palavra sem, pelo menos, cumprimentar a Sua Excelência, senhor embaixador, que está aqui presente conosco. É um elogio, porque antigamente não tínhamos. E, de resto, o presidente Antônio Alves e o nosso irmão presidente também, que saiu de Hamilton, da Casa Angolana, assim que aos amigos e membros da comunidade angolana. Muito obrigado por estarem presentes aqui, de ouvir a história, a narração de uma pequena parte ainda da história da ACO. Portanto, sem a ACO, talvez teríamos um outro nome, mas o nome foi pensado e reflete a realidade angolana, que é a ACO, Angolan Community of Ontario, a comunidade angolana de Ontário. O nascimento de um filho é sempre difícil. Ouviram na narração do nosso presidente, mas não posso falar sem falar também quem é esse presidente que teve essa iniciativa. Sebastião Vita Muzitu Kansingi, ele é um membro fundador da ACO e também o primeiro presidente. Ele é um advogado formado, quer dizer, jurista, e é notário público formado aqui no Canadá e trabalha no governo federal aqui do Canadá. Mas, para além das atividades profissionais, também em termos espiritual ele é um pastor. Na igreja aqui no Canadá, the full All Nations. Okay, as I was saying that Ako was a little baby who was born many years ago, and today is growing. So let's take an example of a DNA or ADN. Ako na fundação e Ako de hoje é aquela mesma ADN ou DNA que está a continuar. A ideia principal de sempre manter a união e a unidade dos angolanos. Aquilo que os mais velhos que somos nós que não fizemos, hoje já estão a realizar. Conforme ouviram, we didn't have a place to meet. We should go maybe to find a place in the coffee shop or at the university. Cabana was the place, especially mais velhos, muitos sabem. Cabana é o lugar que nos recebia sempre. First português devemos também reconhecer, e Centro Francofone de Ontário foram lugares que às vezes nos recebiam. Não tínhamos lugar, não tínhamos office, mas a ideia sempre estava lá. Recebemos a primeira equipa angolana aqui na América do Norte, a primeira vez que a equipa angolana de basquetebol veio jogar. Nós organizamos, embora que não tínhamos aqueles meios, mas estivemos lá a dar essa esforço. Onde está a bandeira de Angola, procuramos fazer a bandeira e aí o hino nacional às vezes faltava, tínhamos sua missão, a missão diplomática em Nova York.
Nova York. Yeah.
Quer dizer, era aquela dificuldade, mas sempre queríamos representar o nosso país. E, sinceramente, a abertura e a iniciativa da juventude hoje que estão a demonstrar para querer saber ainda a história de Ako é muito importante. E, sobretudo, hoje, aquilo que a gente não tínhamos, hoje já temos. Temos a embaixada, temos o embaixador, temos um lugar físico que estamos aqui e também a juventude hoje conseguiu uma internet onde pode difundir as informações. Temos o Clube Capa, que já está aqui há muito tempo, e que está a dar também essa dinâmica de difundir as informações. Portanto, é um elogio para ver que os nossos jovens, a juventude, estão a fazer algo positivo e que nós sempre devemos apoiar. E sempre que puder, nós estamos lá para lhes apoiar e continuar. E, sobretudo, devem primar na educação, estudar. Porque para ajudar aquela Angola, tem que ser formado. E avançar no futuro, pensar sempre no futuro, porque essa criança que nasceu deve pensar. E o pensador deve criar. Criar o homem no osso, no espírito.